Collins Harlan.
Welcome to Hire Away. Hire Away is a show where we talk about jobs, we talk about business, but we talk to the people that are running those businesses and doing those jobs, people with skin in the game. I'm Collins. I'm a staffing specialist with Labor Finders. And in St. Louis, we have two branches. We have one in North County, we have one in South County, but we have branches all over the country. So if you're hiring, if you're looking for workers, all you have to do is go to laborfinders.com. That's laborfinders.com. Find the branch nearest you, give them a call, and we'll help you out. Today on the show, we have a guest named Suzanne Lungo, who's with Vogel Heating and Cooling. And if you live in St. Louis, you've heard of Vogel Heating and Cooling. They're an old established company. They have a great reputation. And Suzanne's going to tell you a little bit about that and tell you what she does for the company. So with that said, let's do it.
Hire away!
Suzanne, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
When I met you, you were climbing down off of a roof of a really big building. What's that all about?
Yeah, so I'm on roofs pretty much every day now. So that's kind of my office. I'm in commercial sales for Vogel Heating and Cooling. And to get up on the roof, we need to assess the equipment to do a proper quote. So yeah, I go up there and get the equipment information and...
Well, it's pretty impressive. You
Yeah.
don't see that every day. And so you can't be afraid of heights in that job.
Nope, not afraid of heights. And I think the day I met you, the roof was probably 130 degrees.
Holy cow.
'Cause
I do remember it was hot. Yeah.
Over 100 when down in the parking lot.
Wow. And so your technicians you're up on the roof, diagnosing, talking to people, but those
Yeah.
technicians are up there for a while, I imagine.
Yeah, so they take breaks when it's those extreme, temperatures.
Okay.
I mean, we had one go to the hospital this summer.
Yeah, you got
He's okay.
Good to hear. So Vogel, obviously, I've seen their trucks ever since I was a little kid. So I think they're 80 years old or something?
Yeah, 1946. That generation started a small shop in South City. It was just residential back then. And then his son took over, kept it residential, kept it in the city. And then John Vogel, who's now the president, who's also my brother-in-law, took over as president in his early 20s. He's a young guy, and he just had a vision to break into construction and commercial side. And
I see. So
it just grew since then. So
yeah, so it really took off. Maybe, I guess, in another direction. You found verticals to explore, like construction and
yeah, there's a lot of competition in St. Louis, and some companies choose just to do residential, and some, like Vogel, want to expand and go into the new construction side and commercial side. It's a HVAC technician is the same, but there's a little different component when it's commercial products because the equipment's a little different.
Yeah, I've always heard that when people come to us asking us for HVAC people, like apartment complexes, and stuff, there's different licenses and things that they have to have.
Yeah.
So you guys have done a really good job. I bet you guys are. When did we have that tornado? Was that back in May?
Yeah, so May, it was terrible, and the phone just started ringing. The weeks following that, and we would go down, and I mean, it was just. You don't believe it till you see it, but just rooftops are literally, they're supposed to be on the roof and they're on the ground. And that's just by wind. Like, it's just crazy. So it was,
pretty bad.
And I know recently they talked about FEMA coming in finally to help clean up. But it was just catastrophic. But, it's rebuilding and things are getting back to normal. But, with insurance companies, it all takes a process.
There's probably a lapse in there that
we do as much as we can to try to help provide the information first so that the insurance companies can't just keep coming back. We need this now, we need that now. But it's a process.
Sounds bureaucratic.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
a lot of hoops to jump through.
Yeah.
But so no one wants to hear that people are suffering, but that type of event, it provided quite a bit of opportunity for your business, though.
It did. And, we did try to help. We provided temporary cooling when we could,
Nice.
Discount costs. We have some window units that we keep in our shop that we can donate for a period of time, So because those don't take long for our techs to install. They're so good. They can install a window unit in a few minutes. But so we did the best we could. But the volume of people, need was way bigger than. We couldn't help everybody, but I wish we could have.
It sounds like you guys. That's what I like about the fact that it was a family business, because
and it still is.
You went above and beyond. You tried to help out with cooling units, window units.
They got fourth generation in there now, and so they're like late 20s, and they're learning the ropes, and so I think it's going to stay a family business. Yeah,
I hope so. I mean, it's been one for 80 years now. So what I was going to say is North St. Louis took the brunt of that damage.
Yep.
But did that extend into Illinois? Have you had any jobs on the Illinois side?
I don't think we've done much tornado work in Illinois.
It was mostly North St. Louis.
Yeah, we've definitely helped out some of the biggest need, where maybe some other companies may not have.
Well, you guys have
gone to.
Yeah, you guys have the staff to do it.
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely, we're not the biggest company in St. Louis by any stretch, but
could have fooled me. I see your trucks more than anybody's.
But we're pretty good. Yeah.
So here's a question: what did you do prior to this?
Oh gosh, so where life takes you is kind of crazy. So I started out as a nurse. I worked at Barnes Jewish Hospital for 18 years in the ICU, in the cardiac ICU, and then. I just didn't see physically that I would be able to sustain that.
Right. It's a hard
grueling,
job. Yeah.
I mean, nursing is very difficult.
My wife is a nurse, or she was. She's retired, but I've heard some stories.
You're on your feet for 12 hours, but really it's a 14-hour day when you kind of get the charting and the report done and everything. So I moved from that job into a medical device company as a project manager. So I've been in construction. So it's project management for medical equipment.
Okay.
So, I was dealing with clinical instruction, but also managing the whole project from the guys that install running fiber in the ceiling and stuff like that. Yeah. So it was
Sounds pretty hands-on, actually. It wasn't just sitting behind a computer.
No. I was at the hospital every day, making sure everybody was doing their job. So it was just a lot of travel. I was leaving on Monday, wasn't coming home to Friday. So my brother-in-law has been kind of was poking me a little bit about, come work for Vogel. I'm like, I don't know anything about air conditioners. And then finally I did, and now I just love it. Yeah,
and now
I'm loving it.
We can't get you off of roofs.
Now I can't get off roofs. I spend
like
my whole
Spider
day.
Woman. You're just, That's, so, and that was actually going to be my next question: is what led you to Vogel from the project management? But
I've known the Vogel family since I was 13 years old. So we went to school with the Vogels. I mean, they've just been my extended family, and now I work with one of the brothers, pretty closely, and I love it. Yeah.
Well, it sounds like you feel that they've been very good to you, but I think you've been very good to them too. I've been around.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. I've been around business development people, account managers, pretty much my whole career, and I can tell that you really care about your customers.
Yeah.
And by proxy, Vogel, the business, But your emphasis seems to be on relationships.
Yeah, he definitely wanted me to emphasize business development overall for the commercial department. So, I definitely have done a lot of outreach to try to gain just a relationship with project, just like people that own buildings and some of the bigger real estate companies, as well as just restaurants and businesses and stuff. So I spent a chunk of my time kind of doing that. But I also do, preventive maintenance plans and try to get leads for, just the company in general. So even though I might have a customer, we have other divisions that are kind of under the Vogel LLC. So we have a windows company, we have a business controls company, we have an envelope company for the residential side. So, yeah, I'm always, even when I'm out on my own personal time, I'm always thinking, you should call Vogel. We could do this for you.
That's fantastic, because it really widens your approach. Sounds to me like there's really nothing involving the building envelope, the building construction that you guys can't have a piece of.
No, I mean, we even have an architectural sheet metal department that you give them like a picture, pick out what metal you want, and they could pretty much create anything.
Wow.
It's so if you see like some of the car dealerships that have the metal facades on the front, we probably
have done that. That's your work.
Yeah.
And I would have never thought that.
Yeah.
That's really interesting.
Yeah. The Porsche dealership, it has like all metal. So it's kind of cool.
Neat. Yeah.
Yeah. Then if you want a fire pit, we could do that too.
It's funny. You're real good on LinkedIn. You're really, your posts are really spot on, and they emphasize that whole relationship thing that you do. You're all about relationships. What makes a good post? Like when are you up on a roof and think, I should take a picture. This would be a great post. What makes a good post?
Well, I always want to make sure that everyone knows that Vogel has a pretty far reach. We'll go to Edwardsville. So like if I'm in a location that maybe, a construction company may not think that we go to, I always want to kind of highlight that. But then sometimes the weather's just so beautiful up there. I just kind of want to,
sure, just
take a picture. Yeah. Some of our equipment is so if I see like a unique piece of equipment, like we do a swim school that has a very complicated dehumidifying unit that is, like the size of 2 buses.
Wow.
So, I like to highlight just our range,
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, what you just told me before that, a lot of people don't know everything that Vogel does.
No.
And we're
like a sneak attack.
You're a sneak attack. That's funny. but it's true. You guys there's nothing you guys can't do, really. I mean, you talked about that swim school and that dehumidification
right. Yeah.
system. I mean, I would have never thought of that.
Yeah. So and then, in the city, a lot of those buildings have boilers and cooling towers and all these fancy things that are actually economical and fantastic. I don't think the residents probably like them as much because you don't have as much control over the temperature, but, those require a unique skill set.
And you guys do that as well.
We have guys that can do startups for the boilers and shutdowns, cooling towers, chillers, like all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
Wow. So you're on LinkedIn. I noticed that you guys also, you partner with organizations. I think one was World Pediatrics.
Yeah. So
right?
World Pediatrics helps children that are in countries that maybe they have some pretty major deformities, or defects. So they somehow get connected with this organization and they fly them here, provide free housing for the family because, parents are obviously with them and surgery.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, these kids have some major, they're not able to walk or, they got something pretty life altering. Yeah. And so they get free, care and they have a lot of great companies that help that organization. So my girlfriend started working there. I had known about it for a while. And the more that I went to the events, just on my own time, I'm like, Vogel, we want to be part of this. This is something that I want to use
It was your idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not
so
surprised.
They, they give me a little leeway to, donate, where I think is, makes sense. And this was definitely one I wanted to do. Yeah. I mean, I'm a nurse, so, of course
it does make sense, yeah.
Loved all that.
It tugged on your heartstrings.
Yeah. So
where is World Pediatrics? Are they?
So it's on Wharton Road, like up toward, is that Olivet?
It's a local organization.
That's, that's the St. Louis.
Oh,
yeah. But it does have there's other, in other cities. Yeah.
So that's a great organization. We'll mention them again. World Pediatrics, if somebody's looking to stretch philanthropically.
Yep. And then we have an event. They have an event coming up that Vogel will help sponsor. There's many sponsors, but It's September 29th at Norwood Country Club. It's a golfing, but they have a silent auction starting on Monday. So go on the website and see what they have to offer.
Any other organizations that you can think of that you've?
I've recently been trying to work, and it hasn't been finalized yet, but it's a project. It's an organization called 10-8, and so they. I love dogs, so they actually. Get money for the canines that work for the police departments.
The police dogs? Gotcha.
So the money goes toward their bulletproof vests, their veterinarian care, their food, helps outfitting the police cars. And I didn't know fire departments have dogs.
I didn't either.
So that was another, I didn't know. So they actually outfit the fire trucks.
Oh, they do.
So we're looking to kind of virtually foster a dog and kind of, see what he or she does and work with the handler. And
that's nice. I'm a big proponent of law enforcement. I didn't know about
me too.
Yeah.
So I'm working
service.
on that right now. So looked at my LinkedIn.
That's
coming soon.
If you all anybody really has to do is connect with you on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
They'll see what you do. You have the best posts I've seen in a long time. So we talked about how capable Vogel is and how expansive their repertoire of services is. It's impressive. But that's an orchestrated strategy to have. It takes a lot of skilled people. What would you say you guys are looking for? What's the most crucial position that you guys are trying to fill?
I think what every heating cooling company in St. Louis is looking for, more licensed commercial techs,
Gotcha. Yeah.
And residential too. We're always hiring, but just for my department personally, we would love to have some more commercial technicians.
Licensed commercial HVAC. That's the ticket, right? Because it's not just HVAC.
Yeah, some don't want to work on commercial, so they,
What's the difference, do you think?
So the equipment's very different.
What?
Like that dehumidification, a residential tech would never see that at someone's house.
Gotcha. And some people just want to stay residential.
And the house, your house, it's just the same kind of equipment. It's a different manufacturer.
Gotcha.
But with commercial, you have to get on a roof. You have to have ladders.
Yeah, there's a lot that goes into it that's different.
And there's a lot more risk. Just climbing a ladder. They say that that's where the most accidents happen.
Really, I mean, it's not surprising.
It's just the ladder, and I mean, we have training. We partner with a safety company, and they come out to the team meeting, and they get 10 minutes, and they have a topic, and they.
That was another question I had.
Safety.
I wanted to find out what you're looking for, because obviously we're a staffing company, and I know that you don't use labor finders, you're union. But if I find somebody, I'd like to be able to direct them to you.
Mm-hmm.
But I was going to ask, what's the training like? Do you take people that are only really experienced?
No.
Do you train them up? Or?
No, I mean, we have apprentices.
Gotcha.
So, we actually work with the union, and we promise to give them hands-on training, in the field, and they work with a journeyman. They don't go on jobs by themselves, obviously. They have to do, I think it's 8,000 hours is the requirement. Yeah. So, no, they don't have to be super experienced, but, they would have to be willing to do commercial. Yeah. And then, it even gets even deeper where it's like, some people just want to do install commercial where you're only installing new equipment or service. So it's like, then you get this whole, thing. So
you kind of just wish they would just do whatever came at them.
I mean, I just, I think probably we need more service, but
that's your
we probably need both. We need both. So. We need install and service. But so.
Well, I'd imagine by the time they get their 8,000 hours in, they're pretty good at what they do. I
would hope so. We definitely do the best to try to give them experience with the install side and the service side. And I've been, I'm out all the time with these guys. So, I see our journeymen saying, well, what do you think it is? And really try to make them think, and figure it out. And so I see them teaching, and then if they guess right or wrong, then there's a whole nother discussion about,
It's a coaching moment. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't think it's like taking a lot of time for the customer. It's not really about that. It's really just a quick question, and then, yeah.
That's great.
But they also have their training at the hall, so like it's not like they're getting everything out in the field by us. They've been through school already.
Right.
They know. They come to us already knowledgeable.
Sure.
It's just the tricky stuff, the stuff that maybe they didn't see in school.
You can't learn everything in a classroom environment. Yeah.
And that's the teaching moments I think our journeymen try to do. They're like, this happened to me once, and don't do what I did because you learn, from your mistakes,
Sure.
So, yeah. So everyone's trying to help them.
Yeah. So if anybody's listening to this and they're thinking about going into that field, what should they do? Like, how do they get into a union? Like, how do they enter into this? Say they're not a union hall member. How would they approach Vogel if they wanted to work for Vogel?
Oh, you just sign up at the union. Union will always take you. But
so you could help them with that.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, we have a relationship with the Local 36 since 1946.
Yeah,
so,
when you started.
Getting into the union isn't the hard part. It's just we just don't have enough people that have gone into the trades.
That's a good point.
And today is celebrating tradesmen. So
Is today tradesmen?
Yeah.
Okay.
Today is celebrating tradesmen. So we need, I think historically people just looked at it as a blue collar job, and but now
they're coming back though.
You're graduating, you're making six figures.
Yeah, and you don't have the huge debt that you would if you went to a university.
So it's
yeah.
Don't turn your nose up to the trades. That's for sure.
I was on a show with a lady named Elizabeth Kaiser. She has a show called Straight Lines, and I think it's on Jeff or News Talk Radio or something like that. But anyway, we were talking about the whole blue collar opportunity that people don't realize. It's more than just digging a ditch. I mean, you could own a business.
No. There's just so many pipe fitters. There's just so many things you could do. If you don't, plumbers.
Sure.
Electricians, everybody.
And I've noticed. There's a huge skilled labor gap. There has been for a while. But I've noticed that the unions are starting to do a really good job of getting into the high schools early.
Yeah.
To change the perception.
And we actually go to like Rankin and some of those, and we, my coworker Michelle will give a speech and kind of just encourage them. It's not easy and it's very difficult. That equipment, especially the commercial side, it's very high tech. They take that door off. There are wires and everything, and those guys just go, "Oh my God, look at that!" And I'm like, "Honey, I don't know what you're looking at." I don't know. But like they're like, "Oh yeah, I see the problem." There's like wires everywhere. You see what?
But that's amazing. Yeah, and it's a skill that pays well. People pay well for that skill. So yeah, that's really cool that Vogel is also going into the high schools. And
we're trying. Yeah, we're always, if any school wants us to come talk, we're happy to come talk to them. I wish we could pull the apprentice off the field, but we can't,
because that would be a good presenter. He would be,
someone's right there. Yeah. And we definitely want more women. That's for sure. We have a few, but.
Well, I think that's going to happen. I think that there's a big movement out there that college isn't the be all end all.
Yeah.
And that there's other options and maybe better ones. And I think you're going to start to see more people, and I think you're going to see more diversity there with regards to male and female.
It's a difficult company because business to have as the Vogels, just because the wrench time is where you really make the money, but just to send a truck out, service call for us is $159. I don't know what other companies charge, but
this is on the commercial side.
Commercial side. So if they decide they don't want to do any repairs with us, you kind of break even. So, and this is with all companies, not just Vogel, but you make money on the wrench time. That's what they call it.
I like that, wrench time.
And that's across the board, plumbers, electricians, So, people are like, "Oh my God, it's $159 just for you to come out, tell us what's wrong." I'm like, "Well, yeah, we got a truck We got tools.
Right.
We got a licensed HVAC guy.
Yep.
We got ladders. Those gauges are $8,000.
Holy cow.
And
Wow.
every guy needs several different kinds of gauges to be able to measure, different things.
Well, and then if they come out, if they come out and they don't find anything wrong, well, then you're paying for peace of mind to know that you're
yeah.
fine.
And we really don't make any money on that, but
At least you do it right.
Yeah,
Your people are really well trained.
We
and,
try, yeah.
It's a good investment to call Vogel.
Yeah.
So, Suzanne, I want to thank you so much for doing this. It was great having you.
Thanks.
And if anyone wants to find Suzanne, I do recommend connecting with her on LinkedIn, but you can also call 314-408-6068. I'm sure that's going to be on the bottom of the screen. But if not, just look up when you see tall buildings. She's always on a roof somewhere. Suzanne, it was great having you. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you. This was fun. Thank you.
Okay, so that's the show for the week. Thanks for tuning in. And Suzanne was a great guest, wasn't she? She's delightful. She's always up on roofs. Next week, you're going to want to tune in, Tuesday, 10 a.m., because we're having one of our own, Brian Slembrook from Vallejo, California. And he's an interesting guy. You're going to find out why if you tune in Tuesday at 10. Stay tuned for the job of the week, and thanks again.
Hire away with Collins Harlan.